Anchor Capital is a more newly listed asset management business and founded by CEO Peter Armitage. You'll know the team because they have the show Talking Stocks, which is really gaining traction here on CNBC Africa, DSTV 410.
Nice plug there. Indeed, these guys are really, they've done a tremendous thing over the last couple of years. They built this business to a market cap, as it says there, of 2.08 billion rand off of a standing start. Great job.
Trading on a PE of 21.4, dividend yield here of 2.7%. Again, I'm going to ask you whether you were one of the players that made money off this story.
No, I wasn't. The listing was very tight. They listed, only raised 60 million rand on listing in September 2014 at 2 rand. And so it's been a phenomenal success. Really ran up fast after their listing, and I mean, you almost couldn't get in. It was great, going so quickly. Although, to be fair, there was 5 rand we could have bought at, but you weren't quite sure if it was overhyped. But it's lived up to its expectation, and I would say a little bit more, actually. The assets under management have grown, mixture of organic growth and acquisitive growth. They've done some nice acquisitions. The most recent Capricorn Fund Managers, although they didn't buy all of that, they just bought 47% of that business. So it's a nice mixture, and the assets have grown quickly. Whether they can maintain the growth...
Well, that's the big question, is whether they can maintain this growth. Let's look at the share price graph.
So they've had funds in there which have performed well. Yeah, it went all the way to like 16, and it's now down at about 11 rands a share. And I think that corresponds with a period in which markets have gotten a little harder. Because remember, like we were talking about Coronation earlier, for one reason or another, Anchor Capital, new kid on the block, Sean Ashton, Pete Armitage running funds that were top of the list of performers in the unit trust class. So they got a lot of inflows from the brokers. But unfortunately, it's, again, an issue of whether you can sustain that. A lot of acquisitive growth means that you've got to go on doing new deals. I think some of the businesses that they've acquired, all systems go, Rob Cowan Investments, that kind of thing.
I want to have a look at that share price graph again.
So it only shows the shorter time. That's a 3-year chart. So it comes on there at a negligible price, goes all the way up like as a factor of 4 times.
Yeah.
But now what? Oh, one other thing I want to mention is that they listed that thing called Astoria,
yes,
which was an offshore entity, which is Mauritian based. And I think that thing, having started very well, has now fallen back a bit because of the strengthening of the rand to the dollar.
So the question here, can they sustain, and would you be a buyer at current levels?
I would be. It's come off a bit. As I said, this is a case in point where they actually have caught up to their valuation to a certain extent. The PE isn't that high. Their earnings have overperformed. Maybe they can sweat their acquisitions a little bit more and maintain the growth of the business as long as the performance is there. So out of the asset managers that we spoke of, I think this one is most probably the best bet, and I'm hot on this one.
Look, you got to give it to Pete and his team. They're extremely busy. The one other thing they've done is a new robo-advisor, which is called BizAnk, which sounds like a combination of biz and ank.
Well, it sounds as though they're on the
robo-advisor.
cusp
Remember
of
what
the
that is? That's
technical...
like the computer will tell you what you ought to buy. And
oh dear!
also
now you've just spoken yourself right out of a job. Remember, you had half an hour to really tell us that.
Here come the computers.
And now
Plus,
you're in trouble.
They've also done other things by expanding into hedge funds and so on. So they are really going deal a minute. I don't know though. For me, it's done a lot. It's still fairly expensive given its scale, and I'm just cautious that you might have a period where, for one reason or another, the thing doesn't exceed expectations. Some of the shareholders are a little bit new, etc., etc.
What about its robo-ank?
It's called BizAnk.
Oh, it's called BizAnk.
The robo-advisor.
So you're hot on this one. How much does BizAnk sway your decision?
The robo-advisor might be a little bit of a fad. It hasn't been proven yet. I think if you're in this game, you've got to say, I'm looking at it and I'm participating in it. And whether it actually works or not remains to be seen. I'm
going to phone Peter Armitage right after this show and find out about this BizAnk. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, we've run out of time now. So hot or not?
I'm going to go not hot on Anchor. Love the guys. Think they're doing a tremendous job, but I wouldn't buy the shares.
Hot or not? Hot. We've got a hot.